Welcome to the Vancouver School Board's Settlement Workers in Schools Conversation Circles. Thank you for volunteering your time to help newcomer parents learn English. First, let's start with some background on this project. The goal was to create a curriculum and materials for conversation circles for newcomer parents. The topics you will see in this curriculum are all suggestions from teachers in the school board, SWIS workers, parents with school-aged kids, and teachers who teach language instruction for newcomers to Canada. Participants should be given access to their handouts before sessions so they can preview and/or prepare for the session. There are 12 units in this curriculum, with the first one as an introduction to conversation circles. The other units are theme-based and cover very basic vocabulary and dialogues within those themes. These are the different units in this curriculum. Each unit is made up of 5 sections: images with discussion questions to go with them, a vocabulary list, cut-up question cards, practice dialogues, and a participant handout which includes a copy of numbers 2, 3, and 4 from this list. Here's what one of your sessions might look like. Each session is 90 minutes or an hour and a half long. The materials were designed so that each section builds on the one before it and lays a good foundation for participants in terms of language as well as comfort level. It's okay to start slowly and carefully and make sure that everyone is understanding the basic vocabulary and theme. Also, these materials were made for a very low level, so keep in mind that there probably won't be too much actual conversation going on. The materials are meant to guide beginners to get comfortable with using very basic English. Let's take a closer look at the parts of the session. The warm-up shouldn't take much more than 5 minutes. Use this time to review everyone's names and see how your participants are doing. It's important to review everyone's names even if you know them, because it might take a bit longer for participants to remember each other's names. Also, remind them about the useful classroom English phrases they should use. The images and discussion questions are meant to introduce the topic and key vocabulary for the unit. This section might take around 30 minutes. It would be a good idea for facilitators to do a quick read-through of the materials before the start of each session. This will help you frame the discussion in a way that better aligns with the outcomes of the units. There are 2 to 3 pages of images for each of the units. Vocabulary and discussion questions can be found on the image pages like the sample seen here. After going through the images and discussion questions, we narrow our focus a bit more. This section on practice questions should take about 15 minutes. Each unit has 8 practice questions. This part of the conversation circle is to get participants fluent in asking these questions. Do lots of listening and repeating and corrections here. Now that the participants are fluent and confident in asking the questions, we expand this activity by adding in the answers and make it a bit more fun and interactive with the arrow spinner. The question and answer section should take about 20 minutes. Put the question cards face down on the table. Participants draw from the pile of question cards and take turns asking each other questions. Use the arrow spinner to determine who answers the questions. This is to make things more fun and interactive and keep participants paying attention. The person answering the question card cannot look at the card. They have to listen carefully and answer. Facilitators listen and help with pronunciation. If there's no arrow spinner, an empty water bottle or a pen might be a good substitute. You could also assign participant numbers and roll a dice to determine who answers the questions. Participants could also just take turns answering questions as well. The goal of this part of the conversation circle is to make it more fun and interactive for participants. The final part of the conversation circles are the practice dialogues. These are more real-world dialogues that will hopefully help participants with their daily lives. This section should take about 20 minutes. Each unit has 3 to 4 very simple dialogues. Ask participants to read each dialogue and correct them if needed. As they practice, encourage them to swap out words and change responses as they get more comfortable with the dialogues. If there is still time, have participants try the dialogues without looking at their papers. To recap, here's your 90-minute session outline. 5 minutes to warm up, 30 minutes to introduce the topic and key vocabulary, 15 minutes to practice the questions, 20 minutes for the interactive question and answer activity, and 20 minutes to practice the real-world dialogues. Please keep in mind that the timings here are estimates, and you can adjust them according to your group and what you think works best for you. The materials you will need for each session are as follows. Facilitator copy of lesson plan package. Laminated copy of useful English for the group from the intro unit. Extra participant handouts. 1 set of cut-up question cards. 1 arrow spinner. Now that you have seen what the materials look like, here are some other general tips for facilitating conversation circles. Be patient and positive. Using a new language is daunting. The more comfortable your group is, the more they will get out of the sessions. Speak more slowly, not more loudly. Give participants more time to answer questions than you would a friend. It might seem like they don't know the answer or don't want to answer, but they are probably just processing. Wait a few extra seconds. It goes a long way. Be flexible. You don't have to follow the timing and the materials exactly. This is a conversation circle, so it is fine if participants go off the plan, as long as it is meaningful for them. You might not get through everything, and that is completely fine. Have fun.